Germany.
That's true.
Half of Europe.
Yeah, we're not that, we're having a green food party. Of course. So welcome everybody. Dan, are we ready? Yeah. Ready?
You're recording.
Oh, we're recording. Okay, so top of the morning to you. It's St. Patrick's Day. I'm Debbie. This is John. We're in the green, of course, and we're having a green food party. So, John, we didn't really discuss how we wanted to do this. I need my water before I can get started, so it's still thinking about it.
I can start.
If you can start it.
Okay, this is something that we look forward to in our house. And
Yeah, we are.
it usually comes when David brings in half his garden of beet greens. And it's usually I grab a big handful, actually enough for my pack, and then the rest waits for whoever else was willing to go for it. So I figured this year it could happen again. If it does, you should be prepared and give this recipe a shot.
That's great. Sometimes you don't know what to do with beet. And John, I hear people just don't even want beet.
So a lot of people don't, and I can understand.
It's two vegetables in one.
Yeah, most people don't even want to get near a beet,
Well,
let
that's
alone
true.
the green.
You're right.
So what I'm gonna do is, instead of beet greens, since when I went to the co-op, they had little beets on greens, but I'd have to get 5 or 6 bunches to get the quantity. We're going to chart to if you look at the recipe. This recipe suits most greens, so you can substitute. I'm also, since we're talking subs, I'm using bulgur wheat. And if wheat is not good for you, you can use quinoa, you can use rice. And you'll notice that there are no beans in this, which is something that I always reserve for the next day. Because it's nice to have this by itself, but the next day you want a little change. Beans like garbanzos go very well. So we're gonna start by water sauteing onions and carrots.
What's water saute?
Water sauteing is essentially like a braise. You're cooking it without oil. So the water will keep it from sticking to the bottom of the pan. And we don't want it to just sit in a soupy soup, just enough water to give steam, cook it up. The onions will be shedding water anyway, so you're not going to need to put in a lot, but it's handy to have water along just as things begin to stick, you can loosen them up. We're only going to cook these until the onions are clear, maybe about 5 minutes. And throw the carrots into. I should tell you, don't look at my quantities here and say, oh, it's too big for my kitchen. This is a double batch. So this is 1 onion, a couple of carrots. Mine is 2 onions, more than a couple of carrots.
The recipe printed out somewhere?
It isn't printed out, but it was sent out with the schedule for the day.
I think it's coming to the printer as we speak. Maybe. Oh, thanks.
So I got 5 minutes. How are you doing?
This is just taking forever, so we'll just have to talk. Okay. Oh, thank you. So what are your favorite greens? Brussels sprouts, good one. Cabbage, good. What?
Spinach.
Spinach, love it.
Broccoli.
Okay. Broccoli. Okay.
M&M's.
M&M's. Oh yes, we know what they say about the green M&M's. Okay.
I like sprouts.
What?
Sprouts.
Sprouts? Yeah. So we've got chard, you got the beet green. You have in my garden right now, I have kale and collards. And spinach, and they're all doing pretty good right now, although my chard is just, or my collards are just about done. But why are greens so good? Why are we always shoving greens down your throat? What is it that you've heard? Fiber. There's fiber, good one. They do have fiber. Vitamins. Vitamins, you're right. They have antioxidants. They have all kinds of, they have vitamin K. They have vitamin C. But they also contain these things called nitrates. And you might have heard, oh, I don't know if nitrates are all that good for me. Isn't that what's in bologna? There's different ones. So we eat nitrates. If we chew them, the bacteria that's already in our mouth starts to turn those nitrates into nitrites. Now, those nitrites then get down into our gut where they even more nitrates turn into nitrites. And then they get into our bloodstream where they create nitric oxide. That's the stuff that helps your blood vessels to open up. You know, if you had a heart issue, they always say you got to take your nitro because that opens up your, if you're having a chest pain, that opens up your blood vessels. So it really helps our heart. It helps the lining of our heart. Boy, I just lost my power.
Plugged in too many things.
I did it.
No, this is going,
That's
this
what
one,
this is going here.
it's the computer.
Oh.
It's creating too much heat.
How did you just look up while I was standing there?
Yeah.
Fancy footwork? I don't think I did any fancy footwork. Okay, thank you. Thank you for saving the day. Turn it off and on. That's always the
I'm
answer.
the IT guy.
That's right. Yeah, that's my new little jig. So that's why we're always trying to eat greens, because they're good for our hearts. And also, I was just listening to something that talked about when you get all these greens, and they particularly talked about the beet. And it helps with endurance exercise because it opens up your blood vessels more so that you get more oxygen while you're trying to exercise. So they're good things. We love greens. So what are other green foods besides those darn M&Ms? Peas. What? Peas. Peas. I love the pea. I like this. You know, it's an underrated vegetable, the pea. I grew up on peas, but then nobody eats peas anymore. But yeah, I love peas. Okay.
Green bean.
Green beans, excellent.
Broccoli.
Broccoli. Edamame. Oh, that's a great one. Okay. So soybeans, you're right. Today for our green foods, John's doing the actual greens. I'm doing the broccoli. So my recipe is called, what is it called? Broccoli pasta sauce. And I chose it for a couple reasons. One, it was green, so we had to do green. But also, it's super easy and kind of in some ways, a one-pot meal. So it's from the author of Plant-Based on a Budget. She has a little website, she has podcasts, she has a couple books. I like her because her foods, she pays attention to how much things cost. So in this recipe, I'm gonna throw into my pasta water, my broccoli. It says just until it turns bright green. Well, I'm telling you, the minute you throw it in here, it turns bright green. So when I practice this at home, I did it for maybe 2 minutes, maybe, not even. And then you take it out, and then that same water, I'm gonna throw my pasta in. And then when I'm done with my pasta, I'm gonna use the same pan to make my sauce. How you doing?
Pretty.
Okay, there you go.
So the onions are clear. The carrots are getting cooked. They aren't there yet, but they're getting cooked. So now I'm gonna throw in the garlic. It says 1 clove. I tend to put it, our house is garlic scented. We go through maybe 2 or 3 heads of one. So.
So good for us.
So it's something where this is gonna have a little more than you would expect otherwise. Or expect according to the recipe, that's what happens. We're gonna just give it 30 seconds worth of cooking. We're just gonna take a little bit of the edge off, while it can be really harsh. Straight.
You know what else I love about this recipe is you don't really need to cut anything very finely. You just sort of chop stuff roughly.
Hitting that garlic. Sense, okay, greens are going in.
How many cups of greens do you have there?
12,
Oh my gosh. That is some big, what do you think it's gonna shrink down to?
maybe 3.
Yeah.
None of it was worth.
Boil a little more. I'm let my water come back up to a boil. Before I add my pasta. I'm using this gluten-free pasta. Has anybody tried this one? I haven't seen this one at Rayleigh's before. It's made from corn and rice. So a lot of them are made from beans and things. We got some allergies in the group. So I've just been trying different gluten-free pastas. When you make this recipe, if you do make it at home, they suggest that you cook your pasta 2 minutes less than is recommended on your box. Because we're gonna keep cooking it. Once I make my sauce, I can put it back in the pan with my sauce and cook it for another 5 minutes. What'd you put on top of there?
Just threw in the paprika.
Smoked or regular?
That was regular. You could do smoked.
Okay,
Uh, in this instance, I'm following the original author and her suggestion. Is usually, this is what Martha Rose Schulman. She's a good mainline cook for things that I remember from my grandparents' era. She's not that old yet, but still in all, we go with it. So we're just forcing these things to wilt.
so you have your onions down at the bottom and your carrots.
Yeah,
They're down
and I'm stirring them up to kind of help the process. Once we've got a good wilt going, we're going to throw in the tomatoes. And then the bulgur. There aren't that many elements to this, which makes it easy. When you're doing it at home, just having a few ingredients. There are a lot of spices here. So you can, like, there's no crushed red pepper, which there's a sin in my house who would need some of it at this point. Happy it up a little bit.
I lost the pepper.
You could also do cumin. Okay, so we're wilting down. Tomatoes. Okay, tomatoes in.
Set timer for 8 minutes.
I am partial to diced tomatoes. The dilemma with diced tomatoes is that they put a chemical in to help the tomatoes hold their shapes, so they look diced. You could get the San Marzano whole tomatoes in the can and use those. Those are very flavorful. They're a little more expensive. But in our house, we don't live that life. We have a lot of these around. So, and we like Mule Glen. They've been around for a while, and they were local. They're now part of the vast food universe. Universe.
I like that.
You care what tomato you choose, or is there a specific variety of tomato, or just?
It's just the brand. It's just the brand. It's their regular. It's what you see on the trucks. When I were commuting to Davis every day, you'd see trucks hitting a bumper, a corner, and the fragrance of rotting tomatoes.
That's when you know, like, it's summer, and in the summer, you see all those tomato trucks.
Yeah. Well, Davis had a hand in that.
Yes. Okay.
So
Oh, all right, that's good. So what else do you do with greens? So we usually make dishes like this, but what do you do with them?
Salads.
Salads, excellent, perfect.
I like to chop up Brussels sprouts and put them in a salad.
Ah,
Raw
you-
Brussels.
raw, that's so good, yes, okay, I love that,
And put raw broccoli, raw cauliflower.
okay. Good, that's like a little cruciferous heaven. All right, cancer fighting, okay.
So can I just give you the blanch, like on the, it makes nutrients more available? Is that true?
That's true on some things, but I don't know if it's true. Oh, he's asking if you blanch some of those vegetables first, that they make the nutrients more bioavailable. And it might be, but I haven't heard that they're bad. I know that's true of tomatoes. Cooked tomatoes have more lycopene, which is good for our eyes and our prostates if you had one of those.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody throw their greens in a smoothie? So you can throw them in a smoothie and hide them?
my daughter does that.
Yes.
It comes out amazingly gray and,
You know, I don't love it when it's gray.
yeah. Well, in the morning, the light is dim.
Yes.
You couldn't pretend it's green.
That is-
In more ways than one.
Brown,
Well, that was this one.
maybe brown coffee.
That's true. Okay. Let's see, what else do we do with greens? Carrie, what do you do with greens?
I eat them.
How?
Whatever restaurant I go to.
These are beautiful green foods. We got some green pumpkin seeds. Thank you.
Just a pinch between cheek and gum.
Yeah.
Thank you, Walker.
Pesto's a good way to eat
Oh,
basil.
yeah.
Yeah, pesto is a great way, and you know, you don't have to necessarily even use basil for your pesto. You could use greens. I know Velma uses like her collard greens for her pesto. And that's why I like this pasta sauce, because you throw a bunch of basil in it and it actually tastes a little like pesto.
Some also uses her tomato leaves.
For tomato leaves, you're right.
Tomato leaves
It's a
are
thing.
really very flavorful and they are not toxic. Even though they say nightshades, oh no,
I know.
no, they are. So I'm gonna throw in the bulgur now and stir it around and get it thoroughly integrated.
Sorry, John, what was that? Boulder?
This is bulgur, yeah.
Where do you get bulgur?
Well, I got this at the
What
co-op
is it?
at bulk. It is par cooked wheat that's been cracked. And basically you can just pour boiling water on it step away for 10 minutes and you're ready to go.
John, could you use quinoa or something else in that too, or?
Yes, quinoa can go here. You can use virtually any grain. Bulgur is good because it's quick. If you're using something else, you're gonna have to consider the time it takes to cook, or you may cook it ahead and add it later. It's integrated because we're gonna add some water, because this will drink up everything that's there.
I'm throwing my little bit of steamed broccoli in here. I threw one big carrot, or we did a couple little ones chopped up in there. Basil, about a quarter cup, but I think I doubled that, so I love basil.
Is basil
And
considered a
then
green?
lemon
What's
juice.
the question? Is basil considered a green?
Yeah, it's considered green, sure. And then what makes this one creamy is tofu. So it calls particularly for the silken tofu. So often when you see us up here doing things, we're using the extra firm and we want to cut in squares, or we scramble it, or do different things. The silken is better for things that need to be smooth, like the smoothie, let's say. So the trick that I've learned on these recipes is there's different kinds of silken tofu and they come in different sizes. So this one is a 16-ounce box, but a lot of them are a little tiny box that's called Morinu, and they're only 12 ounces. So a lot of the recipes say one box of 12-ounce tofu. And if you don't follow that, then you have way too much tofu to everything else. So I'm only going to use 3/4 of this one.
Then I'm gonna add the water. Myself and the pot. And I'm gonna add the dill and the parsley. One of the recipes I was considering for spring is a dish that is part of the Persian New Year called ash rishte. When I first made it, it was the first time I'd ever used dill as well as scallions and parsley and basil and I realized that real dill helps spring taste like spring to me. So
You know, you're right. That's a lot of dill.
it's dill and parsley.
Oh, okay.
It's still a lot.
Still a lot. That's good.
So we're just gonna let this, once I've stirred it here, we're just gonna bring it down to a simmer. And let it integrate flavors.
Okay. My pasta's done. I'm gonna drain it, but not before I save about a cup of the liquid, because I'm gonna throw that in with my sauce. Lost my calling card. It was too. Where'd it go?
It's in the drainer.
Ah, no, somebody washed it. I didn't even see it yet. Thank you. Whoever did that. Thanks for that. Now I've lost my, that one.
This is almost at a boil. Once it's in a boil, I'll have it down to a simmer and we'll let it go for 20 minutes or so. Basically at the simmer, you're just waiting for the bulgur to be soft. Not fighting you. It should have texture, but not the kind of texture that becomes part of your teeth. The carrots should be soft or to hold their shape. The greens should be just part of a chew, but smooth, and the overall broth should be good. I have not added salt, I have not added black pepper. there are places along the way that she recommends using salt. Nice as it is to have salt along the way, you begin to build up a level of salt in the broth. It can be overwhelming, at least to me. So I usually wait until the very end when I'm going to be eating the salt. Because it means there won't be as much and I can get away with it. Okay, we got that.
So I threw into my same pan a red onion, just sliced into little wedges, and a bunch of garlic that were just cut in half. You didn't have to mince them or anything because they're all going to end up in this blender. So we're just going to cook these for a few minutes. Now, the original recipe called for a 1/4 cup of oil to do just this part. And that probably does make it fantastic, I'll admit. But I didn't do that. No oil. I'm doing the water saute. Can I use some of your water?
I just took a sip from it.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I'm gonna use just a little of my pasta water then. Okay. And then once this is sauteed and gets kind of soft and cooked, then I'm just gonna put it in here and blend it all up. Okay, what other green things can we talk about?
On our house, it's avocados right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's the California,
Brady's was having a sale on them last week.
yeah,
So,
avocado on toast. It's the California experience in our house.
You were so California, John.
Well, it's, it's the notion of the immigrant. You have to outdo the locals.
Oh,
Costco has the best avocados.
I agree. It's the best price and they're always perfect. I hate it when you spend like, I love Rayleigh's, but sometimes I'll spend $2 on an avocado and then you get home and it looks fine. But you open it up and it is not. But at Costco, they're always okay. So I like that.
Speaking of that, somebody there going,
Yeah, probably. That's probably me. You're right. Okay, so it is St. Patrick's Day. So how are we celebrating St. Patrick's Day?
Coming here.
What?
Coming here.
Coming here? Oh, that's a great way to celebrate. We
Beef tonight.
corned beef? Okay, with cabbage, please.
Yes.
Okay,
Watch the sodium content on your corned
that
beef.
is right.
I feel we need it once.
Yeah, right.
Just gonna go hog wild. You know what we always make? We usually go out for one green beer. And a lot of people don't do green beer anymore. I don't know.
Chicago does.
I lived in Chicago for a while and that is a fun place to have St. Patrick's Day. But we'll go out for a beer and then we'll come home and we'll make pole cannon. Has anybody had that? It's mashed potatoes and cabbage.
I just saw that.
Yeah, I love that.
And bacon.
Oh, I don't do the bacon. But you know what I'm gonna
Yes, you
do
don't.
different this year? Of course, I don't do anything that's actually fun. I do mashed potatoes like Linda put in the newsletter, a recipe like that. That's just potatoes and sometimes I use broth. I don't generally use any fat. Sometimes I'll throw in a little of my vegan margarine sometimes. But then I cook my cabbage typically in the microwave. I just chop it up but this year, because I just had this the other day, was more of a sauteed, grilled a little bit cabbage. So I'm going to do it that way first. So do it in the pan, just like I'm doing these onions, but try not to burn the pan like I seem to be doing now. And then I'm going to put that in, and all you do is mix the two together. Okay. What else? What are some other St. Patrick's Day foods? Gotta have a cabbage. What else do you do with cabbage? Do you cook cabbage?
Do it in the refrigerator and when it turns brown, I throw it in.
Totally. That's what a lot of people do with their cabbage. I think you're right. Yeah, so do I. You could slice it up and put it, kind of like shred it and put it on top of a bowl or a salad or anything like that. You could microwave it just so it's done. You could do it in a pan just like this. You could cut it into steaks kind of steak size, although you get like two, I know, and all the edges fall off. Is that your complaint about that?
Among other things.
Yeah.
One of the things that we did with the last cabbage, and it was a New York Times recipe with a new,
I'm gonna try it.
this is, Nisha Vora, who's a young experimenter. Cut her cabbage into a half, quarter, eighths. So you had wedges. She put them on, put the quarters or eighths on the skillet. Charred them, flipped them, charred them, put them in the oven and put a tomato sauce that had cinnamon and other delicious things in it. And bake it so that it's cooked through.
Sounds awesome.
That was supposed to feed 4. And 2 wanted thirds. So it was very good. But the problem is, one of the things with cabbage, right now they're dense. And as hard as cannonballs. And they're really tightly, the leaves are really tightly bound. Not the loose structure that she used in her recipe. So instead of a 20-minute cook time, it expands out to when you get it cooking, and you have to turn down the heat because it's too much heat. You get leather on the outside, still crunchy on the inside. So,
Okay.
but it's something where I had never thought of adding a red sauce with cinnamon in it. Somehow that's a sweet that I had not thought of, but it's a North African
Sounds good.
type of thing, so give it a thought.
John,
Just,
what's the red sauce? What is the red sauce? Are you talking like a marinara or what are you talking about? What's the red sauce?
well, for me, red sauce is anything that starts with tomato. And marinara tells me what kind of herbs I'm throwing in. So it's not marinara.
Okay,
So a red sauce for me starts with half an onion, 3 garlics, a couple of cans of tomatoes. And see what else you're putting. And then it could be, let's see, what is the masala? What's the masala?
garam. Garam.
Garam, thank you. Garam masala. It's got a good mixture of spices that takes you, well, to the, but every household had its own blend of spices, so you can't just say garam masala Europeans. So I found that I am not partial to one brand. I am partial to another brand. So when fortunately for me, it's bulk at the call. The other one is twice the price in the little jar.
The garam masala?
Yeah,
I made my own the other day. Is that okay?
yeah, oh yeah. And the thing is, if you make it, then you can tailor it to, I like a little more of this, I like a little more of this. And that's sort of what we're doing here. You like a little more garlic, put in the garlic. Not keen on having that much onion. With an onion is fine. Greens, you don't have the full batch, well, mix and match. It's, if you're assembling it yourself, you can tailor it to what you're eating. We're showing you is more technique than a recipe. The recipe is a guideline. And I'm trying to follow it as much as possible so that it seems logical, but I'm standing at the stove. I won't look at the clock, I'll go, what would I add? So with the red sauce with the cabbage, I sent it pop into Debbie.
Sorry, John.
I don't know the size.
Yeah.
I was talking.
Actually, the guy who invented this was a consultant for Jamba Juice.
Oh, really?
Are these the kind they have at Jamba Juice?
No, theirs are more primitive and they can throw them around,
Oh,
as if they were plastic.
oh,
And they
okay,
probably are.
yeah. Okay, so I blended that. When I did it at home, I had the recipe was like half the size, so it blended up a lot easier. And if you don't have a high speed blender like they have here, they recommend making sure you cook the broccoli and the carrots in that boiling water a little longer. So now I'm just gonna heat this through and then add my pasta and let it heat a little bit. And one thing I forgot to tell you I was gonna add is nutritional yeast.
What?
Nutritional yeast.
Oh,
What is that?
Nutritional yeast gives it a little, it's a kind of yeast, but it gives it a little cheesy flavor. So it's more like pesto, it makes it more like pesto.
Debbie, how long can you hold on to nutritional yeast?
What's that?
I mean, like on the shelf, like, they have to use it like quickly or?
I don't think you have to. I think it'll probably last a really long time, but I never have any idea how long I
Oh,
have.
if you use it a lot.
Yeah,
Same here, you can throw it into virtually anything with a vegetable. My daughter does it with, we do it in mashed potatoes. Do it in pasta,
yeah.
the sauces. Anytime,
Sprinkle it on greens.
oh yeah, on veggies.
No.
So I just let this cook for a couple minutes, then I add my pasta, then we call it a day. I can see I didn't blend it as well as I did when I made it at home.
We're scandalized, we can't eat it.
I know, I'm afraid that's gonna happen. I also, this recipe also called for like a teaspoon and a half of salt, which is more than any of us should have in a few days. So I didn't use any. So not unlike everything I make here, and you're all saying, gosh, this really makes some salt. This is really gonna need some, but I'll just let you pick what you want to put on it.
Yeah.
And it calls for some red peppers. Should I put some red peppers in it? Or do you want to sprinkle them on yourself? You can sprinkle them on yourself. So that seems to be the consensus.
Strangers, come on.
I'll go just a little smidgen. I dumped a bunch on when I made it at home. And my husband said, oh, there's quite a bit here. So I just did a little, and you can add the rest.
Debbie, could you add some lemon to your recipe to camouflage the need for salts? So that,
I added lemon and zest.
okay.
It doesn't camouflage it enough.
What do you camouflage?
The fact that it needs salt.
Oh, yeah.
We could use some pepper though. And we could do a splash of salt. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a little salt, but I know in here, some people are really, no, I don't want any salt. And some people want to dump it on. So I'm just gonna let you decide how you want to do it.
This definitely needs salt. That's not a good pucker.
Did you put salt in it?
No,
What'd you say, John? Is a good
I
what?
said it needs salt.
It has
Oh.
a good pucker.
It's just.
You put 2 lemons in it.
Okay. And I made this at home. I made a little too much sauce for the amount of noodles. Now I think I just did the opposite. Made too many noodles for the amount of sauce, but no, this might be good. Okay, so I just need a couple more minutes. How about you, John?
I'm essentially ready.
You're essentially ready. Okay. Where are you? Who made the rice cakes? I wondered if that was there. Barb, I was over and not seeing you.
Sorry, my mind is in me. These are rice cakes. They're also called idli. But
How do you spell that?
IDLI or IDLY, whichever version you prefer. But these are just basically rice with like water and some lentils, and then you blend it all up, and then you let it ferment for like a day, and then you steam them, and you get this. So it's relatively pretty healthy because you don't use a lot of oil or anything. And then this is a chutney. So this one has coconut, some lentils, a little bit of tamarind, and some red chilies, and then you kind of just basically toast all of it, and then put it in a blender and blend it all up with some water, and that's what that is.
What kind of coconut? Like coconut milk?
Like straight up coconut, like
Straight up.
yeah.
Like flakes.
Like okay, well, like my family, we like buy an actual coconut, and like my dad like scrape out the inside of it.
That's so awesome.
But you can buy like I think just you can also use like desiccated coconut. I think if you kind of put in a little bit of water first and then kind of let it bloom, then put it in with some lentils. Yeah. But this also has like some cumin and stuff in it, and that is what you eat it with because it's pretty plain. It also might be a little undersalted, so
It's awesome. No, it's
really good.
you added lots of good flavors to it, so you don't know that it needs salt.
yeah. But yeah, these are these two things, and you kind of you put this on top and then you just eat it.
Thank you.
Of course. All right.
Okay. No, thanks. And then we have these yummy muffins, Leanne. What
Yes,
about them?
the recipes right there, they're just banana, apple, and craisin muffins.
They're awesome.
Thank you.
I was worried I couldn't have them because it's Lent and I don't do sweets during Lent. But since they're a muffin or a bread, it was okay. Might not want to stand too close to me just in case I get struck. And then we have lovely pumpkin seeds and a little trail mix. We have you to thank for that? Thank you. Such a nice addition.
One thing about the idlis, it's a pretty basic batter of rice and lentils. And one thing, I've got all the stuff to make it. And it was a little bit too much futzing around. But I had the batter and what I thought was batter, no waffles.
Oh.
So I threw the batter in my waffle maker. And I got these sourdough waffles that are good for savory things. You can throw a chutney on, you can eat vegetables. Or you can sit around like my daughter and I, eat them cold. Or toasted in the toaster, and there's something very satisfying because it is that combination of the lentil and the rice. The idli was sort of when I first started trying to cook vegan or vegetarian, I saw this combination of lentils and rice, and I thought, I've got to do this. This will solve all my problems. And it was just failure after failure after failure. So I abandoned it, and I came across a recipe online for the pancake version, because you can thin out this batter and put it on a griddle, and you have roti. Same thing. And I thought, well, I could do that. And there again, you have a batter. What am I going to do? Waffles. So give those a taste. You may not be able to make them that way, but it is something that will challenge your memory. I'm going to try this and come have it.
I want that. I want a little of that. Okay.
So I can tell you. Yes, I need to.
Okay, I think we should eat, you guys. You hungry? Yeah. Okay, are we gonna eat some greens? We're gonna go green. Yeah. Eat more kale.
By the way,